Wario Blast is yet another Bomberman game from Hudson Soft that brings the tried and tested formula to Nintendo's Game Boy and adds in the villainous Wario into the mix to spice things up. Fresh after robbing the kitchen pirates in Wario Land and looking for more treasures to add to his collection, Wario finds the portal from his world to the land of the Bombermen and decides to not only rob them blind, but to enslave them at the same time. This 8-bit puzzle game allows you to choose from either Wario or Bomberman, with the goal being to blow up your opponents using bombs in a best 2 out of 3 round system. Win and you move on to the next challenge, lose and you have to try again. Anyone familiar with previous Bomberman games will find everything pretty familiar with very little changes. Players must also blow up barriers and collect items which will power up your character, allowing you to lay multiple bombs and large explosions as you try and take your opponents down within a strict time limit. This is made all the more challenging with a variety of different stages which contain a number of gimmicks which can either help or hinder your progress. There's everything from warp points to regenerating blocks, arrows which dictate the direction a bomb can go in, and lethal gas which can stun you temporarily. It's a lot of fun and is just as addictive, gripping and frustrating as ever, as literally anything can happen. I had games where my opponents literally blew themselves up quite quickly, or I managed to bully them into corners and blow them up. The gameplay is extremely tense, as outwitting the game means pushing forward but also ensuring that you don't trap yourself and blow yourself up, which can happen quite frequently. After the challenges have been met, then Wario or his bomb blasting new nemesis will have to face a boss who waits for them at the end of each world. The idea is then to use bombs with precision timing to hit them when they are vulnerable. Win and the prize is a permanent power up which grants a brand new ability to be used from that point onwards. The further progress is made, the more powerful your character can become. Wario Blast is another Super Game Boy compatible game and results in an enhanced screen and special border when used in conjunction with the Super Nintendo, allowing you to play the game on your TV. It also uses a nifty password system and a battle mode in which up to 4 players can duke it out, which is really cool. Graphically, Wario Blast looks pretty good, and I really applaud the fact that Hudson Soft made each level layout slightly different to make things more challenging. I will say though that whenever there are 4 players on screen, the game has been known to struggle a little, sometimes. There's a tiny bit of slowdown here and there, which is to be expected, but also occasionally the CPU opponents get a little confused and may just repeat the same path, flickering a little bit. Still, it's by no means a game breaker, and I do feel that Wario Blast, amongst many Game Boy titles out at the time, pushes the Game Boy a little more, making it work just that extra bit harder. Every single boss you fight is certainly no slouch, and if you're playing this for the very first time, some of them seem literally impossible. I had trouble with what looks like a cat being lifted up by balloons, and it took me the best part of an hour to finally put this kitty down. Also, the sunflower boss was a little tricky too. Not only do you have to lay bombs, but you need to ensure that whilst collecting the power-ups on screen, you need to remember just how powerful they are, as it's easy to forget and blow yourself up when you're concentrating hard trying to figure out how to take these bosses down. I really liked the pig in the cup and saucer, and thought the final boss, the giant robot Bomberman, was really cool. Whether you play as Wario or Bomberman, the path and goals are exactly the same, with you taking on multiple versions of the opposite character. The game is not all that long and can be beaten in a couple of hours or even less time if you are particularly skilled or very lucky. The ease and simplicity of the gameplay allows you to try out different strategies. Do you trounce your opponents and then bomb them? Wait for them to go into a narrow gap and trap them with a bomb? Or cheekily try and catch them as they reappear in a warp point? It's entirely up to you. So, is Wario Blast worth playing today? For those fans who have played Bomberman and love the games and want more, I would say a big yes. You will find the same addictive gameplay, humour and controls here, all in 8-bit. If you want something different, then you may be disappointed. Wario Blast at its very core is just more Bomberman with Wario in it. Besides that, there's really nothing that veterans of the series haven't seen before. If you're a fan of Wario and are new to the Bomberman series, then you'll certainly get a kick out of being the bad guy and blasting the Bombermen out of their helmets. While some could argue that Wario Blast is nothing more than a deliberate cash grab to sell players what they have already played, it simply can't be denied that this game works, because regardless of who the characters are, it uses the same elements that made the Bomberman series successful in the first place. If you're curious, however, then I still say this game is worth checking out and is a great addition to your Game Boy collection regardless. Okay, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.